that they will definitely have to tackle. They've been very skeptical of the rapprochement between the Americans and between the Iranians, and talks about an imminent deal about Iran's nuclear program, and to the point where King Abdullah said to the Americans that this is something that shouldn't happen at all, because he was concerned that it would come at the expense of the Saudis' geopolitical interests. So Iran, I think, will top the agenda for Saudi Arabia. The second biggest issue for the Saudis is situation in Syria. King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz was a staunchly anti-Bashar al-Assad, staunchly pro-Syrian opposition.
Bashar al-Assad being
president
of Syria. Of Shia.
Exactly, and he was always of the view that Bashar al-Assad is manipulated by the Iranians, because the Iranians are using Bashar al-Assad to spread their influence towards Lebanon, to have this clout in the Middle East. The Saudis provided massive political and financial support for the opposition in Syria. We're expecting to see the same thing done by King Salman bin Abdulaziz. I think the third issue for them will definitely be Yemen,
where the president has just resigned, as well as the whole cabinet, and,
absolutely,
and the country could unravel.
Absolutely, it could collapse, and if it collapses, that will be bad news for the Saudis. They're watching closely the Houthis expanding their influence in Yemen. And the Saudis last year, they declared the Houthis a terrorist organization, because they are of the view that the Houthis are Iran's proxy in the region. In fact, they think that they are being used on purpose by the Iranians to further destabilize Saudi Arabia, because the Houthis share border with Saudi Arabia. So these are the three main issues to top the agenda of the plus Iraq. We know that ties between the Iraqis and the Saudis have deteriorated over the last few years, especially when al-Maliki took over. The Saudis have been asking al-Maliki to be more inclusive towards the Sunnis in Iraq. And Malik, on the other hand, has been accusing Saudi Arabia of providing support for radical Sunni groups in Iraq. So these are some of the issues that we're going to see King Salman bin Abdulaziz tackle. I don't expect personally a change in the way Saudi Arabia going to manage those issues. It could be just a change in style, as you said.
Once again, Hashim, for now, thank you very much. Please don't go away. Let's take a listen now to the announcement which was made on Saudi state television of King Abdullah's death.
ببالغ الأسى والحزن ينعى صاحب السمو الملكي.
It is with deep sadness and sorrow His Highness Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud and all members of the family and the nation mourn the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz, who passed away at exactly 1 a.m. this Friday morning.
Right, back now to Hashim. So, Hashim, what happens tomorrow or later on Friday in Saudi Arabia? The funeral for King Abdullah will be held, and also dignitaries will be paying their respects to the new king.
Well, Saudis are known historically for implementing a strict interpretation of Islam. So what happens is the following. Now, tomorrow, after the afternoon prayers which will be led by the Grand Mufti of Saudi Arabia and the new King Salman bin Abdulaziz, King Abdullah will be led to rest in the same cemetery where his predecessors and his father are buried, in the capital, Riyadh. Then there will be the ceremony where members of the royal family, dignitaries, members of the religious establishment will pay allegiance to the new King Salman bin Abdulaziz. Next to him we will see his crown prince Migran bin Abdulaziz. So these are the two most important, or let's say, landmark events that we're expecting to see in Riyadh tomorrow. We might see some world leaders fly to the kingdom because of the importance of the kingdom itself. We might see some mostly regional leaders, international leaders coming to Riyadh, pay tribute to the late King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz, and also congratulate King Salman bin Abdulaziz.
At this point, officially, the Crown Prince Salman is already the new king, right?
Absolutely, because this has been set into stone in 2007. In 2007, King Abdullah, preoccupied by this line of succession in Saudi Arabia, he formed a new body called Allegiance Council, or Majlis al-Bay'ah. The Allegiance Council set the priorities, put into place articles. What happened, in fact, is that they appointed Prince Sultan as his crown prince, but the Prince Sultan passed away in 2011. And then they appointed Prince Naif bin Abdulaziz as crown prince. He passed away in 2012. At that moment, he appointed Salman as his crown prince, and then last year he appointed Mugran bin Abdulaziz as the second in line of succession. So as far as the Saudis now are concerned, or as far as the royal family is concerned, there is going to be an orderly, smooth transition of, or succession of power. King Salman is now king, and when he passes away, he will be succeeded by his half-brother, Mugran bin Abdulaziz.
Okay, a smooth transfer of power, but all this coming at a time of a lot of turmoil in this whole region.
Exactly, a lot of turmoil, and at a time when people are starting to ask questions about Saudi Arabia's role in the region. People starting to say why Saudi Arabia is not leading the way it used to be in the past. I think one of the problems, or one of the reasons why, because King Abdullah was facing health issues in the past. And we know in countries in this part of the world where the king is also the patriarch, if he faces problems, then politics tend to take hold for some time, waiting for the king to recover and then to take over, because in the system of governance, the king is the man to pull the strings, is the man to make the final calls.